To be fair, smartphones felt pretty stale for the past few years because every single year we just get a slightly faster chip, better camera or battery. So it got to a point where upgrading every single year got pointless. So when I got my hands on this Samsung Z Fold 8, I wanted to give it a try because I'm an Apple fanboy and I wanted to see if it's worth dropping 2000 euros almost on a foldable that's on Android. At 201 grams, the Z Fold 8 is surprisingly light. In fact, when it's folded shut, it feels almost identical to carrying a standard flagship slab phone. Also, Samsung completely reworked the hinge and the materials this year, and holding it closed, it feels like a finished and refined product. And when you unfold it, you immediately notice the mechanical feel of the hinge is super smooth and there is a nice resistance to it. Honestly, I felt surprised when I unfolded this for the first time because this device is crease-free. The display on this thing is genuinely amazing, and a thing I noticed, and I don't know if I'm crazy, but the cover display is less brighter than the unfolded display. One big change Samsung did with this device is the aspect ratio. The cover screen is a 5.5-inch panel that actually feels like a compact smartphone screen. I mean, it's not hard to hold in hand as it's small, but there is a catch. Because the cover screen and the main screen are made of glass, and that means they are a fingerprint magnet. Within 10 minutes of using it, it looks like a crime scene of smudges. You'll find yourself wiping it against your shirt constantly, honestly. Now let's talk about the Wobble, because if you're that type of person that likes to put their phone flat on the desk and start typing or doing something on the phone, prepare yourself. Because of the massive camera module on the back, every time you tap around the corners, the whole phone rocks back and forth. If you run it caseless like I do, that Wobble will drive you crazy within the first hour unless you throw a case on it to even out the back. Where this unfolded display gets really interesting, it's how the apps handle the multitasking in the split screen. On a normal phone, split screen practically gets unusable because everything gets squished. But on the 7.6-inch 4x3 display, it feels completely natural. For example, I can have Notion open on the left side, where I keep my notes and video scripts, and Cloud open on the right side to brainstorm ideas or summarize research. Now typing on this screen while it's unfolded, it's practically a learning curve. Because the keyboard is split in half so your thumbs can reach the outer keys, it's smart, but it's a weird thing to do when you are used to the regular keyboards. I was making typos left, right and center, and you definitely need two hands and some undivided attention if you want to type fast on the unfolded screen. Now let's talk about gaming and media on this massive display. Games like Fruit Ninja or 8-Ball Pool felt amazing to play on a screen this large, and having that extra real estate when you're lining up your shot in 8-Ball Pool or slicing fruit across the tablet-sized panel is super satisfying. It's definitely a nice perk of having a foldable when you just want to kick back and chill. Watching content on the Z Fold 8 is kind of a mixed bag because depends on what you're viewing. If you're watching standard 16:9 YouTube videos, we'll get black bars at the top and bottom, but because the display is so big, the actual video size is still larger than any other device. If you watch content in 4x3, it feels the entire display edge to edge, and this looks unreal. Now let's talk about the speakers, because this was a huge disappointment. For a phone that costs almost 2000 euros, the speakers are pretty low quality. When I put it side by side with my iPhone 16 Pro, the difference is night and day. The iPhone has a rich, deep bass and full sound rather than the Z Fold that sounds flat and completely hollow. So you are paying almost 2000 euros on an ultimate media machine that sounds like a mid-range phone. But enough with the rant, and let me actually show you so you understand it better. Battery life on the other hand was pretty solid. Samsung put a 4800 mAh silicon carbon battery, and I was getting around 6.57 screen time hours per day without any issues. Now let's talk about the cameras, because they are not top of the line. I mean, I was expecting to get a 200 megapixel camera, but I didn't know that it's reserved only for the ultra models. But let's be real, because the 50 megapixel main camera actually looks really good, it takes great photos, and honestly most people don't need a 200 megapixel sensor on their phone anyway. I actually took some photos with it, let me know what do you think so far. Compared to my 16 Pro, I think they are pretty similar, and honestly sometimes my iPhone still does it better. Now in my opinion, this phone is kinda unoptimized for social media. When you open up apps like Instagram or TikTok unfolded, most content isn't built for a 4:3 ratio, so you end up with these awkward black bars on the left and right sides of the screen. So after a few days with this phone was the verdict. So spending almost 2K on a phone is not my type, and I really love my 16 Pro. I mean, it just gives me incredible speakers, a top-notch camera, and 90% of things I actually need and I have on every other phone. But don't get me wrong, because I really enjoyed using this Samsung Z Fold 8. For the first time in years, a phone made me excited about tech again. It proved me that mobile hardware can still be innovative and fun. I'm holding a tablet-sized screen right here at my desk to multitask or play some casual games. Feels like magic every single time you do it. So let me know in the comments if you got your hands on the Z Fold, or you are planning to get this one, or you just are sticking with your regular phone. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like and the subscribe button, and until the next one, make sure to take care.